Three men in a boat. Three men in a boat. It was supposed to be a simple boating trip, just three friends, a lazy river, and a weekend away from the worries of city life. But as always with George, Harris, and Tim, nothing ever went as planned. The trouble began even before they set foot in the boat. George had forgotten to pack the tent poles. Harris had brought an entire suitcase of books instead of food. And Tim, who prided himself on being the planner of the group, had confidently announced that he had booked a boat, only to realize the booking was for next weekend. After much bickering and blaming, they managed to rent a rickety old rowboat from a local fisherman, who warned them, "She's a bit temperamental." They laughed it off, loaded their supplies, which mostly consisted of snacks and an unnecessary amount of tea, and set off down the river. The first few hours were peaceful. The sun shone, the birds chirped, and George even tried his hand at fishing, until he accidentally hooked his own sleeve and nearly fell overboard. Harris, attempting to steer, confidently declared that he had an excellent sense of direction, only to crash them straight into a low-hanging tree. By nightfall, they were completely lost. The map was wet and unreadable, thanks to Tim knocking over the teapot. Their lantern had mysteriously disappeared, and they had no idea how to set up the tent without the missing poles. Resigning themselves to a night under the stars, they huddled together, shivering, while George told ghost stories that only made matters worse. Morning brought fresh disasters. Harris, attempting to make tea, managed to set the kettle on fire. Tim, trying to push the boat off a sandbank, lost his balance and tumbled into the river. George, laughing at the scene, leaned back too far and fell in as well. By the time they finally found their way back to the dock, sunburned, exhausted, and thoroughly humiliated, they swore never to attempt another boating trip again. At least, not until next summer.
This keeps the humorous and lighthearted tone of Three Men in a Boat while adding a new adventure. Hope you like it.